If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Well, it snowed. I mean, this is the third time it has snowed in the month of November in Missouri. This is very unusual. Like I said in a previous video, I can't ever remember it snowing before Thanksgiving. And here we've had a third one. And this one, I would say, is about 5 inches deep. You know, being out here in the forest, we're not going anywhere, which is, you know, of course, one of the issues that we knew we were going to run into. But we also, and this is where I want to talk about, is some of the things that we have done, how well the camper is performing. We knew that we were going to be able to stay long-term in a campsite if we had to. We've done it before. As a matter of fact, when we were in the grasslands in South Dakota in the middle of summer, we had to stay a fairly long time because the roads got so muddy we couldn't leave. Well, we had plenty of food, so the only limiting factor was water. And so, of course, we collected rainwater. Well, we don't have a water issue this time. We knew the snow was coming. We would always know the snow was coming. And so we would just have plenty of water. That's not a big deal at all. One of the concerns I had with the camper was strength of the roof. I did not design the roof to hold a lot of weight. I can't even walk on the roof of the camper. You know, I built the camper to try to make it lightweight. It's 250 pounds, so I just used 2x2s as its structural integrity. I was going to modify it to add an additional brace, but that brace was going to take away from my head height. I decided what I was going to do was I was going to put a tarp on top of the roof, and when the snow got deep I could just pull the tarp off and no problem. We didn't get back here from the live feed last night until 8:30, and it was cold and already snowing, and quite honestly I got lazy. And I decided what I was going to do was that before I went to bed about 11:30 was I took a broom and I just pushed the snow off the roof. And then when I got up this morning, I had about 3 inches of snow on the roof, which was no big deal. I mean, the camper didn't even look like it was sagging. What was interesting was I have R3 insulation inside the camper, and I wasn't sure how well it was insulating. That's a double-edged sword. The better it insulates, the more the snow stays in the roof. But, so that caused my weight issue. If I didn't have any insulation, all that snow would have melted off. But the snow's not, the heat is just not escaping the insulation. As small as that camper is, we can turn the propane stove on real low and it just barely flickering. And it keeps us warm pretty well. Last night I would say it got down to, I don't know, 27 degrees. And we just had that thing flickering like that. Didn't even notice the cold. Now, the night before, it got down to 14, and we had it flickering. And it got a little chilly, so we had to turn the heater up, but not much. So the insulation and the propane is doing an outstanding job. You know, we keep a little window cracked. Now, see the back wall where the door is, I had to, you know, there's some cracks. You can see light coming through. I'd always intended to fix those, just never did. I will never fix it, actually. This is what I've decided. I'm not going to fix it. So, you know, there's actually, you know, you can feel air coming in from outside. The reason I want to keep that like that, when we're running the propane stove, the carbon monoxide will build up. Well, those cracks help provide a little bit of ventilation between it and the window that we leave cracked open. And since we've ensured that the window stays open, the carbon monoxide detector has not went off again. So that's a huge plus. We did go ahead and buy a second carbon monoxide detector just for safety's sake. The first one we've had for a while, and it went off, and of course, you know, it scared the heck out of me. And what I've noticed is when I kick my blankets off, the blankets are, you know, you take your coat off, you throw it over there, you could potentially throw something over the carbon monoxide detector. So I just wanted to have a second one in case the first one fails. Or look, last night on the live feed, somebody said they were doing a 30-day challenge that I suggested everybody do. And you know, a lot of folks are doing their 30-day challenge inside their campers. Well, on last night's live feed, someone said that he was doing the 30-day challenge in his van. which is great. But I must insist, please get your carbon monoxide detector. The mold, you know, I was really concerned about condensation. We had to insulate the cab over because condensation was building up there. Again, I want to stress, condensation is not caused by propane, even though everybody says it is. It's caused between hot and cold surfaces. You take a soda can out of the refrigerator, condensation builds up. Now, that does not mean propane does not produce water. It does produce water. It produces about 1.5 pounds of water per pound of propane. You're producing more water than you're using in propane. But remember, you're not burning 1 pound of propane every second. It takes me all day, maybe 24 hours, to burn 1 pound of propane. So 1.5 pounds of water. What is that? A quart, maybe, of water in a day. You put a lot of people put a pot of water over their wood stoves or whatever. You're burning up more water that way than you are in the propane. So I'm not having a water problem with propane. We did get a little mold to build up, and I just sprayed apple cider vinegar on it and it killed it instantly. It has not grown any space that I have put apple cider vinegar. Now, I'm not saying that's the trick. It just happens to work for us. Last year on the pop-up we used bleach, but it would always grow back. It's not growing back this year. Now, the truck is 2-wheel drive, so I'm not going to drive it at all when it snows. I know it's top heavy. I can feel it rocking a lot when I go over a bump, and I would hate to start fishtailing or anything. I really would have a concern that it's going to flip over, so I'm just not going to drive it. We're going to plan all our traveling around snow events. Wait until this melts a day or two, and then we can go. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.